And we are live. Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of the Free Thinkers. I am joined by Toasted and the lovely Angela the Bounty Hunter. I am Mikhail the Stray Cat, and we are going to be discussing, well, the latest so called Don't Say Gay law that was recently signed by Ron DeSantis, and we're going to be reacting to that. And we're going to start off with the Young Turks,
Yeah.
courtesy of Toasted, just for the sake of reference. So let's go ahead and check this out.
Yeah. Just 1 second. Before we do that, let's just show how much the left wing has changed since they did the since in 10 years ago, and how originally I thought what Dave Rubin was stupid saying he blamed the left for people being angry they adopted kids, but now I sort of get it though. I sort of understand what he means though in a way that the left has made it, but anyways, let me just show you how much they have changed, how much they went from it being just about don't tell people what to do with in their bedroom to this, and how that
Change.org has a petition going on right now that says that Bert and Ernie should not only come out on Sesame Street, but they should get married as a gay couple. Now, first of all, I didn't even know that Bert and Ernie were perceived as gay until I started working on the show.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I had no idea. I grew up watching Sesame Street.
Yeah.
I watched Sesame Street until I was in kindergarten, actually. And Sesame Street is how I learned English, because English was not my first language. It was my second language. So I every time I see Bert and Ernie or Big Bird or any character from Sesame Street, it warms my heart because it reminds me of when I was a little 4-year-old.
Immigrant children.
I was a little immigrant. Well, I wasn't an immigrant. My parents were immigrants.
I knew I was going to talk you into that.
I know, but I was a little 4-year-old who didn't understand English, and I was like, hey. Apple, so excited about it. But anyway, so Change.org has this petition, and what they want to do is encourage education among young people, so it decreases the amount of bullying toward homosexual kids. And I totally understand that. I think that makes sense. Okay, by making sense, what I mean is, I understand that they're doing it out of the kindness of their hearts. There's no bad intent, anything like that, right? Do I agree with having Bert and Ernie come out as gay and then marrying? Probably not.
Especially in the form of a petition signed. Well, they have 700 signatures right now. But as a petition, it seems almost it's forced. Like, well, you guys got to do this because then it will get us this result.
Exactly.
And the thing is, like, man,
first of all, Bert and Ernie, why are they gay? Since when were Bert and Ernie gay?
They sleep in the same room. You remember that part?
I do remember that part.
They sleep in separate beds, but they sleep in the same room. They could be college roommates.
So do college roommates. That's what I was about to say. Like, there's nothing wrong with.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. I understand your perception wasn't that they were gay. I didn't think that either as a kid. But as you get older, you kind of look up and go, oh, so it's, you can make the joke. I mean, that was where it always originated from. Oh, Bert and Ernie are totally gay. Look at them. They live together. There's never any girls over. But the thing is it's nobody's thinking about that in that realm. I don't think there's preschoolers who are going around punching a little kid, and because where do they get the idea that some kid in their daycare is gay? It's just it's too early.
It's
way
too.
You're learning about ABCs and counting and stuff.
It's a concept that is too complicated for a 4-year-old. Okay, that's the last thing that would pop into a 4-year-old's head. The reason why Sesame Street is so successful, and the reason why it's so great, is because it does teach children, the fundamentals before they go to school. You learn about the alphabet, you learn about numbers, you learn about all the simple things that you're supposed to know to be prepared to go to school. And that's what I like about Sesame Street. I don't want to start, incorporating all of these complex ideologies. So, let parents decide when they have that discussion with their kids. And of course, there are always going to be the conservative nut jobs that don't want to have that discussion with their kids. And you know what? That's their decision to make. Yeah, that's their decision to make. It's not Sesame Street's responsibility to teach 4-year-olds about gay marriage and accepting gay people. And this is me saying this, okay? I'm completely supportive of same-sex marriage. I'm completely supportive of the gay community. I think that it's important to have comprehensive sex ed when students are prepared for it. And in that curriculum, they should learn about gay marriage and homosexuality and how bullying is wrong. You get the picture. But 4-year-olds watching Sesame Street don't need to learn about gay marriage.
This is the first time I agree with everything the Young Turks actually said here. They actually said everything right here. This is exactly true. They shouldn't know about. They're too young to know about this. They're too young to know about sexuality. No kid is being bullied for being gay. It's at that age, it's very young, and that's how it used to be. The left wing used to be. That's how it used to be. But now apparently, they changed a little bit. They had to go more extreme. Now they believe that we should have sex ed for preschoolers now, apparently now. But yeah, it's funny how much the left has changed. They went and don't and let's not like get be be funny about this. Like TYT is an ultra. Mikhail, by the way, do you mind putting my screen on? You there, Mikhail?
I'm sorry.
Do you mind sharing? I shared the screen again. Do you mind?
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, it's so funny how they went from that to this, and TYT is a communist basically. So it's funny how things have changed. How far. I know like they like to say how the left has not gotten more extreme. It's actually the right that has gotten more extreme. You know what I mean? But it's like no, they have social issues. The left has gotten more extreme. Even you could be
I have to say that's probably the first time I've agreed with the Young Turks.
Yeah, that was actually somewhat refreshing. But then again, how many years ago was that?
This was like 10 years ago, a long time ago. Now
So
now they're probably anti the whole gay bill, and now they're anti. I mean, like it's weird how this went from the ultra left was originally anti sexualizing kids, teaching them about too early stuff, to in Sesame Street they had a cross dresser on their show, and Blue's Clues they had literally a pride parade on Blue's Clues to Arthur. They showed a gay wedding. I mean, like it's weird how far they went. Like I'm not joking. Blue's Clues they actually had pride parade in one of their episodes. I'm not. I mean, hopefully the Turks don't take down this video because it didn't really stop. But I'm not sure if I want to show the one from Blue's Clues because they're owned by Viacom and they're famous for taking down streams. They're famous for. But you can search the Blue's Clues the pride parade thing, and the people who are watching Blue's Clues. Let me give you a hint. They're not even kindergartners. They're literally toddlers that are watching it. And they're teaching them about sexuality. This is grooming. And, like I don't care how like you could be the most gayest person out there. You can have a gay flag, stuff like that. But this is not the point. It's not about gay marriage. It's about teaching kids these young things. I would say the same thing about teaching kids. Just about regular marriage in general. I mean, like there are people saying, "Oh, it's because we should not make the kids that have a gay family, feel left out." Well, so should we teach people about polygamy now? Because we shouldn't have kids that are in a polygamous relationship, that have parents are in a polygamous relationship. They'll feel left out. I mean, like we can't like subscribe to the minority for the majority cannot subscribe to the minority for something minor like this to just like confuse people. You know what I mean? As when people get older, maybe you could speak about this, but like especially ages 3 and younger. I mean, third grade and younger. But and that's not and this is the thing. Ron DeSantis is really hitting a home run here because he's making bills that are not even extreme right wing bills. They're not extreme right wing bills. He's doing something about it, if that makes sense. He's making favorable bills, if that makes sense, to everybody. Because this don't say quote gay bill. 52% of Democrats, even 52% of Democrats supported, or his bill to not have transgender women play in female sports. That has unlimited. That's supportive. The CRT thing, which I heard people saying, "Oh, it means that you can't teach about slavery." No, it doesn't. It just means that you can't teach about that institutional racism is for the basics. Like that, there's like a totally what's it called, like a tier list of how races are treated because it's political. You know what I mean? It's the funny thing about this whole thing. If this was the opposite, like to say that they don't say gay bill. Let's say it was the opposite, like the opposite thing, like some other thing, like don't say Christianity bill or something like that. You would see like the left wing would be for all for it. Or if it was like the CRT, let's say they would have a race IQ thing that would teach kids. You would see how the left would go extreme. So you see how hypocritical they are, and also the right wing. Don't get me wrong, the right wing are also full of a bunch of hypocrites. But but you get my point here. It's like. And this is the thing that I hear from libertarians is that they always support, left wing people because they're for when the left wing people are for freedom, like weed and homosexual marriage. But the thing is when the left wing wants freedom, not only do they want the freedom, they want to force people to accept that freedom and force people to do that freedom in some ways, like gay marriage. They want people. They don't want only.
Well, if I can interrupt for just a second.
Do you have to just
honestly, the words freedom and force do not belong in the same sentence in pretty much any context, because they are exactly the opposite of each other.
Right.
It's worth noting.
Yeah, no, but like this is the thing I'm gonna say. It's like whenever the left is wants to like quote unquote do something in the name of freedom, like weed, or no, not like weed. The weed didn't have. I'm not sure if even that's a left. Is that even a left wing mind to legalize weed? I think also right wingers. Okay, fine. Like gay marriage, like they claim it's for freedom. They don't only want gay marriage to be legal. They want to force people to accept gay marriage. They want to force Catholic orphanages to accept gay couples adopting the kids. They want to force gay bakers. I mean, uh, they want to force Christian bakers to make cakes for gay people, which is the fine thing. Originally, people were for gay marriage because it was freedom. We shouldn't tell people what to do in their bedroom. But now things have apparently changed. Or with abortion, they don't only want abortion, killing your baby, to be legal. They want people to pay for it. They want people to pay for the birth control, which I'm wondering. You guys should tell people, but that we shouldn't tell people what to do with their bodies. That you want to tell people to pay for to do what with their money, to pay for to pay for somebody's abortion. You want to force people to pay for somebody's abortion for their birth controls, even if I don't want to. You want to go if somebody refuses to, like other tax lawyers says, I'm not giving this money. You're for the government going to the person's door and forcing him to do it. You know what I mean? So like that's the hypocriticalness of this. And that's the thing. Whenever people don't support whatever left wings, maybe you could support the freedom, I suppose. But always know it's in the back of mind that they also want freedom. They want it to be in grand society, and they want to force it onto people, that freedom. If that makes sense.
Okay.
If they want to like broccoli, they want people. If the left wing want to make it legal to eat broccoli, not only would they want people to be legal to eat broccoli, they want to force people to eat broccoli. But maybe I'm just going a little crazy here. I'm sorry. I hope I'm not
No,
trying
you're
to.
fine.
No. I just want to interject in that the right wing, to me, seems to be forcing people to do things more than the left wing. The left wing seems to be allowing things to happen more than the right wing is forcing things to happen.
Well,
And I just want to interject about the issue at hand because my opinions on abortion and things like that are not what we're talking about tonight. And I just want to go back to the whole Bert and Ernie, Sesame Street, Blue's Clues, Pride Parade thing. That is an issue that a parent can choose to turn the television off. If they don't agree with what's going on the children's program that they're allowing their child to watch, then they can turn it off. The topic at hand seems to be this don't say gay law in Florida. And that to me is more important because that involves teachers, which are a necessary evil in our children's lives.
Well, I'm not sure. The reason why I brought Bernie, just wanted to show how much they have changed. The left has changed, and of course you could turn off the channel for your kids, which I would do. But you're also allowed to, I believe, criticize it. I don't believe you should go make a funeral of it, but I believe you should be allowed to criticize it. Ultimately, you're right. You should watch what your kids are doing, and you could turn it off. It's not like they're forcing people. But actually, here's something I actually want to show you guys from MSNBC, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. Hold on just a second. Why am I not? Why is there no audio? Hang on a second.
Let me. I haven't. I know what happened. Let me share screen
Okay.
again. Let me just go on already.
Yeah. Give me a second. Share. Stop screen. Get out of full screen real fast. Add your stream. And okay, there we go. Share screen. And share screen. There we go. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Here. Okay, here it is right now.
Okay. Sorry,
Joining
everybody.
now is
Technical
Corey
difficulties.
Bernard, a kindergarten teacher at Barbara A. Harvey Elementary in Parrish, Florida. He's openly gay and has spoken about how this new law is going to impact.
I know this is
his
random.
classroom.
Maybe
Corey,
it's
thank you
because
so much for
I'm
joining us.
a normie. Maybe I'll say stupid, but I didn't know, like, for most part, kindergarten and preschool teachers are mostly women. So I'm surprised they actually were able to find a. Not saying they don't exist. I didn't really go to public school, but you guys went to public school. Did they have a lot of male kindergarten teachers or not really?
Not when I was in school.
Yeah, not that I can recall.
Yeah, so that's, I guess,
This morning, we appreciate it. Just give me first your reaction
for having me. Excited to be here.
to the Florida governor signing this into law.
Yeah, it's twofold. It really hits hard in my heart professionally and personally both. Professionally, it truly makes me feel like I am not trusted as a professional. I know my kindergarten standards through and through, and
I'm just curious, like, but they're not firing him though. Like, what does it mean they don't trust him? It's not firing him, and they're making this law. And there's a funny part. They say it's don't say gay bill. There's nowhere about gay. You also can't speak about straight relationships. I don't get why are they trying to. You can't even speak about straight, sexual orientations.
Yes. Actually, Angela and I were just discussing that here a little while ago. If we flip the script just a little bit, what happens, in light of this new law? It has been signed into law, yes?
Yeah.
So what happens in the event that, I don't know, say, for want of a better way to put it, little Jimmy or little Susie from, two houses over, knows that they have a mom and a dad, but Jake over here, the other kid in question, for, whatever the circumstances might be, they have a same-sex, couple parenting them. They have two dads, two moms, whatever. And they, bring up this question to their teacher. I'm going to go on a limb here and say that little kids, especially within the age ranges that we're talking about, if we read correctly, the law pertains to under fourth grade. Is that right?
Yeah.
Third grade and under.
Yeah, third grade and under. Yeah, I thought I had that right. So,
yeah.
So we're talking somewhere in the age range of basically 4, as in pre-K, to 8 or maybe 9, up to 4th grade, right?
Yeah.
Well, I am more than prepared to go on a limb here and say kids in that age range, they tend to ask a lot of questions about a lot of things. So what if that comes up?
Well, first of all, they don't really ask about personal matters to you usually, and if they do,
no. I'm simply pointing out the possibility. What if a kid, who has a mom and a dad, notices that another kid down the street, and I'm not saying this is uber common or anything. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying, what if? What if, again, little Jane or little Jimmy, whoever, they have a mom and a dad, and they know that Jake from a few houses down the street has 2 dads or 2 moms.
Well, I think
and they bring up the question in class. We were looking at this, and it seems like, not only can the professor, the teacher, not discuss such matters with the child who has a same-sex parenting, but they also can't discuss, the same topic with a child with what most people would consider a traditional marriage, man and a woman raising their kids.
That's exactly it. That they're not allowed to discuss sexual orientation or gender identity.
So what happens in that scenario?
Well,
that's the question.
No. First of all, I don't think in that case. I think it's just making a main topic of it. I don't think it's like this situation. It won't be a problem. Also, like, what if they want to speak about, like, there's a person who has like a polygamist, a child of a polygamous relationship? Should we speak about it? Like, some stuff are just not the time for kids. the kids ask you about sexuality and stuff like that, you don't answer them because like people ask you how are babies made. You know what I mean? So I mean like certain things are not for kids because at the end of the day, this could lead to sex. When you talk about families, whether people want to admit it or not, if you're going to speak about like why does he have two dads and she doesn't have two dads, it's going to get to sexuality. They're going to say, oh, why is he married to one? Why is they're not? And you're gonna have to eventually say, well, one's attracted to one and the other, which is not for a kid's ears to say. But I don't think
Be the answer of ask your mom and dad.
right exactly because that's the thing. Ask your parents. You know what I mean? It's not like a thing at this age you should speak about. Should we? If somebody asked like if I asked my kindergarten teacher, how are babies made? How do you think the teacher would respond to that? Same thing. You can't. This is grooming. You can't just speak about this in class.
Because it used to, honestly, it used to be, well, when a man loves a woman and they get together, well, no, it's not that case anymore. So it has to come down to what do your parents want you to know? What do your parents want to tell you about that? So it should be the ideal answer should be ask your mom and dad.
Yeah, exactly. We should have some decorum for what people feel. There are people that are more liberal. There are people that are conservative. Some people are not for gay marriage. Some people are. At the end of the day, let the kids, let the parents decide. Why should we have this? Why should we even have the schools speak about it? Have your parents decide, especially something like sex, which is a personal thing. Have the parents decide how they want their kids to be taught. Don't like do a one size fits all thing. Sex is a very important thing for people, and how they handle it is different. We shouldn't have like you can't. I mean, why would you want a random stranger to talk to your kids about such a personal thing? What if the person? What if the teacher is a creep? You know what I mean? Like you have to realize like stuff like this is a personal thing. I remember South Park actually they made a joke about I think about sex ed and because the boys wanted to get condoms and I remember Chef before he left South Park he said like how it's a personal thing and you should have parents explain it because you don't know what the teacher might be because one of the teachers end up being like who was a kindergarten teacher. You know who Mr. Garrison is?
Yeah.
He's a complete creep and was teaching them about dog style and stuff like that.
Oh,
That's
sure.
Yeah.
Besides, also, if you hear more from this video, I don't trust this. Not because he's gay. I know people don't say, but not because he's gay. But this person really does. If you see more of the video, you're gonna see how much of a creep this person really is. In my mind,
Yeah, maybe, I'm curious to see what he has to say.
Yes, I'm curious to see, what this guy's got to say.
Yeah.
In our curriculum, does it have anything about teaching sexual orientation or sexual identity? So for them to say
yeah,
that,
exactly, sexual identity and sexual orientation. They'll say you can't teach only gay stuff. It includes straight couples too. So I don't get why you say don't say gay bills. Really, don't talk about sex bill. But the liberals won't say that because they know it won't sound as good. You know what I mean? Let's continue. And realize that if your age is grades 4 and over, it's okay for people to speak about it. We're only talking about ages 3 and under, third grade and under. I don't see how controversial it is. It's not even a controversial bill. Like this is not like, I mean, they make stuff more controversial than they really are. Like Trump's bill, I remember they say it was a transgender ban, which it wasn't. It was just like if somebody has transgender surgery, he's going to be discharged from the military because it's going to take time to recover and your body is going to be a little bit different. If somebody is transgender and got the surgery, you could still join the military, but I regress what I'm trying to say here is that what's it called again? It's not even a controversial bill. It's literally common sense. Also, ages 3rd grade and under, they don't care about sex. They don't care about sexual orientation or all that. It's nothing to them. They're not into girls. Once you get to the 4th grade, 5th, it's not until like you get to like 5th and 6th grade when they start to that. Then you can speak about it because then that's when kids start to be more curious. But like right now, 3rd grade is too young, and this is. What's next? Should we have sex ed for preschoolers?
Okay.
Sorry.
No. But there are questions that kindergartners and 1st graders have about, especially if they have another child in their class that has 2 mommies or 2 daddies. They do have questions. So to me, the question is, how does a kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade teacher respond to those questions?
Well,
yes, and here's an issue that I have with this law now that it's been signed into law. And this is kind of the point that I think Angela and I both kind of came to. Yes, you're exactly right to bring up the point how does the teacher, under these constraints, and you can think they're good or think they're bad or whatever you wish, but under these constraints regarding what they can and cannot even so much as talk about, how can you expect the teacher to give a meaningful answer to a kid who just happens to ask those things, whether that particular kid has a mom and a dad, or for that matter a single parent household, or whatever. How can you expect the teacher to give a meaningful response to a child? Now, granted, I am inclined to think that, and I don't think you're wrong, Toasted. The average 5, 6, or 7-year-old is not all that concerned with whether they're into you know the opposite sex or the same sex or anything of that nature. As a general rule, I would think that a child in that age range probably isn't really thinking about those things. However, you yourself, brought up, when they get into like fifth or sixth grade, which, by most standards that I'm aware of, what you're saying, what I'm getting from that is basically when they're approaching puberty. Well, the problem that I see with setting the limit there as opposed to, or vice versa, the problem is it's an arbitrary number. uh, it's an arbitrary age, and the fact is, I personally have known. I know this is anecdotal, but I'm going to say it anyways. Just for the sake of it being out there. I personally have known both guys and gals, in the biological sense, that actually hit puberty earlier than would otherwise be anticipated, and fluctuations like that do happen. So, how does how does the teacher respond when these questions actually do come up,
Well,
if they come up?
Yes, yes. Like, we're talking about third grade and younger, which is way before puberty.
Yeah.
Yes, by most standards, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
but
yes, there are cases where kids get puberty, but there's also cases where a chimpanzee is able to juggle a ball.
yes,
it's
I'm not saying it's
very
common.
rare.
I'm simply
Yeah.
saying it does happen.
Right, but
So,
you shouldn't like go crazy over rare exceptions. Like, should we worry about?
no,
You know what I mean? Like, you have to. You
no,
have
no,
to.
you're not wrong. It's not something to lose one's mind over. I'm just posing the possibility for the sake of the discussion. That's all.
What I'm saying is, like, first of all, if a person asks a teacher, I don't think the bill. If you read the bill doesn't say you can't answer it. If your child asks you the question, then I think you can answer it. But the thing is whenever you ask the question to your teacher that was inappropriate, do you know what they used to say? So at least ask your mother and father about it. That's what they used to tell you, right? So same thing can apply here. If they really are dead curious, the teachers would say, "Hey, ask your mother and father about this. I'm your teacher. I'm not a sex educator." You know what I mean? That's how it should be. I mean, and you know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this guy has to say. He said he's a little bit of a creep, so I'm curious.
That's
Yes,
happening.
let's see what we got here.
It's kind of crazy. But we should be able to have discussions, and that's what we're
There's
encouraged to do in kindergarten.
one thing before I go. I remember when gay people, they used to say they didn't like to put their personal relationships out in the open, or just people in general. Now apparently people like to put their personal relationships out in the open. I don't know, it seems weird. I remember a long time ago people didn't like to talk about their family life at work, but apparently things have changed. But let's continue.
And then personally, because my kids do have questions. They want to know who my partner is in pictures outside of my classroom, and I should be able to speak to them.
So do you work?
I didn't know that my teachers were married until I was like well into high school. I had no clue back in the day that my teachers even had a life outside of school. And I think honestly, that's probably how it should still be.
Yeah, exactly. I used to think teachers lived in the school. Like, we didn't know that they were married. And they're really asking you questions. They're like 5 years old. They're really, and also, why do you have a picture of your husband in the room? You're seeming like you want to start something. He seems like he really wants to start something.
None of my teachers ever had pictures of their wives or husbands in their classroom?
Exactly.
I just think the teacher should be just your teacher and I honestly, even to this day, I think the teacher should just be like this person who instructs you and doesn't have any life outside of the classroom
I'm saying
when it comes to the student.
are people calling me a
Well,
homophobe here?
to be fair, if I can just chime in on that last point, to be fair, once a once a child or an adolescent, once a person starts to become aware that there is more to life than just X, Y, or Z, then I would imagine if they have more than, I don't know, an IQ above 60, they're going to realize for themselves that this applies not only to themselves and even to their family, their friends, but it also applies to their teachers, their doctor, basically any other human being that they ever interact with. They're going to realize that this is a human being just as they are, and just as they have a life outside of whatever is going on at the time, so does that person. So
Okay.
it's worth noting.
But that happens
Okay, but
first
just
grade.
yeah, you might just say one thing is that he's putting it out there. He's literally making him putting a picture of his family in his room, like he's literally starting something up. Like, why is he putting a picture of his family in his room? Why does that have to do with this kindergarten?
But don't misunderstand me. I'm definitely getting some little creep vibes from this guy. My spidey senses are tingling here. But
Well,
at the same time, I am inclined to at least question what I'm seeing more
saying
than just give a knee-jerk reaction, if that makes sense.
For people calling me homophobic, the same thing would apply for a regular kindergarten teacher if he had a straight family. Why are you putting a picture of it in the? What does this have to do with preschool? This is preschool. It's not your personal bio, personal blog thing.
Yes, and that strikes me as very, very odd on this person's part. Like, why?
Yeah, he's. I think he's trying to start something. You're trying to ask them questions. Yeah, they're not asking questions because you're putting a picture of in the room. You're starting something. Yeah, duh, they are. And you don't have to do it. Okay, let's continue.
Worry that you won't even be able to talk about your own personal home life. I mean, I have a child in kindergarten right now. I know exactly.
Oh, the horror. You can't speak about his personal life in kindergarten. You can't speak about your personal life in work. Oh, man. People used to not want to speak about their personal life. Now he's afraid, I can't speak about my personal life in work, which has nothing to do even with my work. I can't speak about it. Literally, he's not getting fired. Nothing is happening to him. He's just complaining. You see how far we
Yes,
went.
it is definitely odd to me that he seems to be throwing such a snit fit over this when in what way is your own personal life relevant to the situation at hand? In this case, obviously teaching kindergarten kids. It's or pre-K kids. I can't remember, but either way, yeah, we're talking 4 and 5-year-olds. Like,
I still believe
how is that relevant?
Teachers should not have any personal life in front of their charges, in front of their students. I don't believe that they should talk about their personal life. There's no reason to. If the kid comes up to you and asks you if you're married, if you have a boyfriend, if you have a girlfriend, okay, say I have a partner or I don't. But there's no reason to go into any more detail.
Yeah, let's continue here.
That my child has 2 teachers, one of which has a daughter at home and is single. The other is married and has 4 children. I know everything about their lives because my kid tells me.
Absolutely. You are 100% correct. That's what we do as educators. We build relationships with our kids. And in order to build relationships, you talk about your home life. You talk about what you do on the weekends.
Major creep vibes
Yeah,
going here.
exactly.
The teachers
What?
their home life.
I don't know. I was in kindergarten. They never spoke about my home life to me. I didn't even know who their partner was. Like, it's a bad idea. Like, what in the world? You can see how this MSNBC host has an agenda here. No way the kids care so much about their partner's relationship about the teacher's relationship, unless the teacher is openly speaking about it.
It scares me that I'm not going to be able to have these conversations with my children because they're going to ask me what I did on the weekend. I don't want to have to hide that my partner and I went paddleboarding this weekend, because then they ask, well, what does partner mean, Mr. Bernard? And, I'm worried. Can I tell them what it means? I'm also worried for my kids. I have a little girl.
Okay, this is Who asked the teacher what they did in the weekend? What's that? What is you? So you
I
should tell
cannot
your
remember ever in
what a creep.
kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. I cannot remember a single time where I felt even the slightest inkling of asking any of my teachers what they did over the weekend on Monday morning.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
What the hell is he
I ever
talking
did was in high school, and that was to keep my teacher from assigning a pop quiz or an assignment. Was just, hey, what'd you do over the weekend? I didn't really care.
That's a great way to get out of it, I guess.
No kid asked their kindergarten just what to do over the weekend. And this is
A
not
third
just
grader was not.
and this is like the paddling he's doing with his husband, sort of like a date, sort of. Why is he speaking about his dating life to his kids? And is he trying? I'm not sure if he's trying to like whatever, just the paddling thing. Whatever. This person's such a creep. Why do you need to tell it to your kids? Why do you need to tell it to your students? He's whatever.
And why can't he just say my partner and I went paddleboarding? Why does he have to make it a homosexual or heterosexual thing at all? Just
Yes,
my
at the very least,
partner and I.
why does he have to, give off the implication at all? Because I mean that does imply something, even if you're talking to a 5-year-old who probably wouldn't understand what you're really trying to say. Well, why are you doing it at all?
No.
Because how is it relevant?
Yeah, and also one thing is like, which kid asked their teacher what they're doing? I remember I was in kindergarten. We never asked our teachers that, and our teachers, which were straight, don't worry. I mean, whatever, it doesn't matter. Which were straight, they wouldn't even tell us about their dating life because that's not a thing for kids to hear about their dating life. It's not a business. This is literally him going paddleboarding with his husband. I know they're married, but still a dating thing. They're doing some dating activity. It's not for a child to hear. But let's continue.
This year who has 2 moms, and the kids are curious about her 2 moms. They want to know about her 2 moms. If they go to her and ask her about her 2 moms and she doesn't know what to say, they're going to come to me and ask me. And then so what do I do? It opens up for parents to really take some legal action against the schools and teachers. And I am afraid for myself, my colleagues, and my students.
How do you expect to navigate that situation? Because for as a parent of a young child, I want to celebrate difference, and I want my child to celebrate differences as well and to learn about them.
Absolutely. It's hard to navigate.
You can see the politicalness here. I don't care about differences. Why do I have to care about it when my child's here? Why do we have to speak schools for learning? Not about like who cares about what you can see their agenda here. Like, who cares? Like, why are I mean, like we're all the same people. Who cares? Like,
we're all going to learn about differences eventually. Just teach my kid the alphabet and their numbers and leave it at that.
You can tell how political they want to be. They want to we want to be progressive. We want our school to be progressive. We want to teach our kids to be woke. Talk about gay marriage. No, who cares? Why are you being? This is not what the kids want. This is what the parents want. Like it's like the drag queen story I heard. Do you think the kids care about drag queen story? They're scared. They're scared about. They probably are. Like if I was a kid, I'd be scared of a drag queen. Why? Like it's just that they want to act woke and progressive. These people just want to act woke and progressive. It's like this is pure grooming. I mean, it's not. I mean, I don't want to say it too, but it really gives me a creep vibe. And it's not people saying it's because it's not because it's gay. It's really because.
I will gladly second that. I'm getting some serious creep vibes here.
Yeah, if I live in Florida, I don't want this person to be my child's teacher. No, I'm not going to send my child to that same school as him.
Especially when you have words that are injecting, indoctrinating, when you have those words coming from, our state legislators and our higher government, those words, those are synonymous with some very hurtful words. And so when we
I'm
think
sorry,
when
what
I
did
think
you
about
just
navigating,
say? Rewind that just a second.
I am going to be mindful, but I'm going to follow my kids' discretion and what they want to discuss. And if they
I'm sorry,
so Toasted, pause that, rewind that by about 30 seconds. What did you say? I want to make sure I heard that right.
By the way, can I just say something before we? I mean, I guess I could say it at the end, but I'm just going to say here. A lot of these MSNBC, they're making a point. They're getting people on their side with this. No, you idiots! You're getting people anti your side. They're so stupid. They don't realize how they're shooting themselves in the leg. It's like when conservatives sometimes do the same thing when they speak about other issues. But this is what they're doing. They're like shooting themselves in the leg, but they have their head too down up their ass. They don't even realize how they're making it worse for themselves. They're making people. They're probably making people support the don't say gay bill. It's so funny.
Hard to navigate, especially when you have words that are injecting, indoctrinating. When you have those words coming from, our state legislators and our higher government, those words, those are synonymous with some very hurtful words. And so when I think about navigating this bill,
What?
He's just giving the Jimmy and MSNBC.
Okay, time out, real fast. Okay, synonymous with very hurtful words. Okay, two things here. One, I don't know about anybody else, but I was taught from the time I was an itty bitty little kitten boy, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's point number one. Where did that go in today's society? Where did that little lesson go?
It doesn't apply. It doesn't apply anymore.
And second, okay, synonymous, injecting. Okay, good Lord. This dude's job is to teach freaking 4 and 5-year-olds.
Right.
What? Seriously, what 4 or 5-year-old even understands the concept of a synonym?
Exactly. And also one thing is, let me just put this here. He's doing what Jimmy Kimmel did. First, the bill doesn't say it's not don't say gay bill. It has nothing to even do with gays whatsoever. It's about sexual orientation, which can apply to straight people just as much as the gay people.
Yes, absolutely. You can apply to heterosexuals as much as anyone else.
I mean, not all homosexuals, don't get me wrong, but some homosexuals. Why do they always talk about? Why is it only them that likes to talk about sex and about their personal life? I don't see heterosexual people doing it. It's not saying that not all gay people, don't get me wrong, not all gay people, but some, they're making their own sexual orientation look bad. What he's just doing is complaining about not being allowed to tell. You're making people feel worse about gay people now. These gay people that do this is what ignites Nick Fuentes and people like that hate gay people. It's what gets people on their side. It's the same thing with the Black Lives Matter thing. Them hating white people is a nice way recruitment for Nick Fuentes and racist people. What he's doing here is making people more homophobic right now, and you know what I mean. It's just amazing how dumb the left and the right. Don't get me wrong, there's some dumb people here, but it's surprising how they don't realize they're shooting themselves in the foot.
I don't have any problem with this teacher being gay. I just think that he should keep his personal life out of his teaching, and I think he could easily do that by not talking about it.
No, don't get me wrong. I don't care that he's gay. I don't care that if he does anal sex with his wife. I have no care. I don't care at all. What I'm trying.
What did you say?
I don't care. I don't care if he is getting. I don't know if he's doing a peanut butter orgy with 15 different. I don't care. But the thing is, don't bring kids into this. It's not their business. You have to make. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's true.
I mean, you're making gay people look bad. Straight people never say this. You're making gay people look. This is.
Oh no! I don't believe for a minute that straight people don't do this. I don't believe for a minute that straight people don't talk about their personal lives and talk about their dates and talk about things that they shouldn't talk about with their children. With their children that they teach. But I just don't believe that whether gay or straight or polyamorous or whatever you want to call yourself, I don't care. I think it does not belong in the classroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some stuff.
And I'm going to go. I'm just going to go ahead and say this. At this point, this dude and MSNBC and who the hell else ever, that wants to throw a snit fit, over effectively just being. You said yourself, this guy is not facing any, possible repercussions for, I don't know, having pictures of his partner or whatever, just so long as he doesn't talk about it. Well, okay. Here's the thing. This really is just making it all the more rock solid in my mind that our public education system, and I can't believe, oh God, I want to gag on those words, but our public education system is completely and fundamentally broken. And really, this guy is making the case for people to just yank their kids out of public schools and either homeschool or get private tutors or whatever.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
I agree.
just to avoid this situation
Yeah, yeah.
altogether.
We should abolish public schools, to be honest. Okay, make it private
Oh,
schools.
I absolutely agree we should for a lot of reasons. You
I'm
are
not for
wrong.
homeschool. I believe I'm against homeschooling. I believe homeschooling makes your kids weirdos, but for sure private schools. You know what I mean? Stop funding the government. And it's a big myth that private schools are more expensive than public schools. Actually, it's not the case. I mean, it seems more expensive because you don't pay with your taxes, but you pay more in
My
taxes.
younger brother is attending a private school right now as he prepares to graduate from high school.
Exactly. Let me just let's just finish this thing, and besides everything, like the government schools, they like tell so much lies, like the Southern Strategy lie, or like how FDR is the best president ever, how big government fixed many issues. I know I'm getting on the libertarian rant here, but listen to me.
I am going to be mindful, but I'm going to follow my kids' discretion and what they want to discuss. And if they ask me, I'm going to be true and honest to them because it's who I am.
That's who you are. Corey Bernard, we celebrate who you are. Thank you.
We celebrate who you are.
Celebrate who you are?
This
What the
is
fuck is she even saying there?
I mean, who cares? Like, and also, people are saying Ron DeSantis is like a homophobe. He had, not saying that doesn't make it, but he had dinner with Dave Rubin, a person who's adopting 2 children. So I don't know how much of a homophobe. But I don't think Ron DeSantis ever even said anything about gay marriage or anything like that. This is not even a extreme right-wing position. It's not like banning gay adoption or anything. It's just literally saying you can't talk to. It's not even talking about gayness or anything. It doesn't have anything to do with gay. It just says you shouldn't speak about sexual orientation, including straight orientation, to your kids. This is not like such a big thing. If you really had out for gays, who have just made it you can't speak about gay relationships, but he's not saying. He's saying you can't even speak about straight relationships. So this is like super whatever. But anyways, it's your stream, Mikhail. So I guess you could finish it off.
No, actually, I was going to ask though.
What's up?
Given what we've just seen and what all has been discussed here, what are you guys' thoughts, in regards to not just Florida, but just in general, public education, private tutors, is this whole situation helping make things better, or is it just raising a lot more questions and potentially more problems than it's giving answers and solutions to? What do you guys think?
I mean, listen, no government bill is perfect, and for sure, no regulations are perfect. Regulations always, but in this case, we're going as he is ultimate proof. He ultimate proof that we need this bill. He's the proof that we need this bill because he just showed how it is a problem. He's showing why Ron DeSantis made this bill. Like, listen, we'll have some problems, but I think it's best. I think it's better that we try to slow down the slippery slope of speaking about sexual orientation to your kids. Because from this guy's proof, we obviously were speaking about this kid, and Ron DeSantis is putting a stop to this. And it's just funny how MSNBC was trying to use this as against the Don't Say Gay, but he used it was actually for it to prove why we need the Don't Say Gay bill, which is not even called that. But anyways, yeah, continue. Sorry.
Angela, what are your thoughts? Seriously.
My thoughts.
Yes, what do you think of this whole situation?
I think that the fact that it's called the Don't Say Gay bill is incredibly misleading. I think that teachers...
I think it's a meme in and of itself.
What's that?
I think the fact that they nicknamed it the Don't Say Gay bill is kind of a meme in and of itself because, as has been pointed out by, I think, all 3 of us, this applies as much to straight as it does to anybody else.
Exactly. I think whether it's in regards to a straight teacher, a gay teacher, a polyamorous teacher, what have you, the LGBTQ plus community, whatever you want. I just don't believe that, especially in grades 3 and under that we have any business discussing these topics with the students. I just think that, if they have questions about what you did over the weekend, be vague. A teacher can easily dismiss a child and say, you know what, this is what happened. I was with my partner, I was with my significant other, whatever, what have you, and dismiss it. And so I don't believe that. I just kind of, I guess I harken back to the old days, like I said, where I guess under 5th grade, I had no idea whether my teachers were married, boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever, and that was fine. And I don't remember having any questions for them. And I think we should just leave it at that.
Well, as I said, personally, what I'm getting out of all of this is this whole situation really does just scream, get your kids out of public education entirely, by any means you can, any means available to you whatsoever. Get your kids out of public education. Frankly, the numbers don't lie of America is not exactly a shining beacon of public education being a success. We don't even rank, I think, like in the top 25 internationally when you actually measure education standards. And that's just to begin with. And now we're dealing with a ridiculous situation like this, where for whatever the reasons might be, and again, please do not misunderstand me. I'm getting some serious creep vibes from that particular teacher, but that is besides the point. Whatever the reasons might be, Jesus, we don't even rank, I think, in the top 25 internationally, just to begin with. And now we have this situation on our hands where a facet of government is needed to simply say, hey, keep your personal and professional lives separate to the people that are supposed to be teaching little kids. That's what we're dealing with here. This is ridiculous. This is insane on so many levels. And the worst part of it is that, I'm an anarchist, so I'm against pretty much any bill, any law, period, just to begin with, because I'm against government. But the fact that there would be this perceived need for government to come in and just tell people who are supposed to be professional educators, supposedly, hey, keep your personal and professional lives separate and don't go talking about, well, let's just say sensitive issues, shall we, to little kids that are not yours and are not, it's not up to you, it's not for you to make the decision, whether or not they're ready to even begin to understand any of this stuff. It's insane. This is literally, this whole situation is making the case for me for private education, private tutors, private whatever, privatize it. Like that is where this is
the AMCAP stray cat pirate point of view.
Yes. This is literally making my argument for me. Just to watch this. This is the level of insanity we have reached as a society at whole, and God, I want to gag on that. But there it is. This is the level of peak stupid we have hit. That such a thing would ever even need to be written and signed into law by anyone. It's nonsense.
I think we all agree that regardless of your sexual orientation, you should not be discussing these topics with children in 3rd grade or below.
Oh, absolutely. I very much agree with that. What do you think, Toasted? Am I off base here?
Oh, I agree. I totally agree with you. This is sort of what I mean. Like, I believe we should just like leave this to the private education. I mean, like, you're saying that we should you're angry that they made a bill. Well, I mean, government handles education, so that's why they're making this bill. Now, I don't believe they should, but that's why they're making this bill, because they handle education, responsible for it, which is all more. But yeah, I totally agree with you. Anyways, we're near the hour mark. If you want to end here, or not,
I think we're at an ending point.
yeah, I'm a little bit.
Yeah. We are rapidly approaching the 1 hour mark, and I think we've all said our piece on this particular topic for the evening. So, you guys have any closing words?
The children are our future. I'm just kidding.
Toasted, you got anything to close with?
Nope, just that,
All right.
Don't trust the media. They're the enemy of the people. I know people hate what I say. They what Trump said, but it's literally. And for people saying that's about free speech, the media, many of the media gets get a lot of what do they call again from the government? What do they call money from the government? What do they call when the government gives you money?
All right.
Sorry.
And with that, I think we are at a closing point. So
Oh yeah, they
I
get
will-
subsidized. What I was gonna say is the
Huh?
media gets subsidized from the government. So
Subsidize is a nice word for what they get.
yeah. So let's not try to make it like it's like a free speech thing when the media is literally subsidized by the government. It should
Yeah,
not be.
and it's worth noting, yes, that absolutely goes for you guys over there at what I lovingly call the faux news. That absolutely goes for you as well.
No, it goes for everybody.
Huh?
Yeah.
So, you are absolutely right. Don't trust media. And with that, this has been a very special edition of the Free Thinkers, and we have had a very special guest star on with us today, Angela, the busty, beautiful bounty hunter. And with that, I will simply close with this. Above all else, live free or die trying.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime, sweetie.